Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to the NTT Indycar Open Series here at Belle Isle. I'm Boston. I am joined by Marco Barbonera, and we are coming to you live from Motor City, USA, Detroit, Michigan.
We absolutely are. Hello, Austin. Hello to everyone. After the craziness of last week's race in Indianapolis, well, we are here for another crazy race because this is the premiere, if not the only true street circuit in all of iRacing, a legendary track for this series. You know it with this kind of racetracks, what you get: tight racing surface, close walls, bumpy surface all over the track, and plenty of drama, and also plenty of entries. We have 24 of them, as qualifying is basically just about to come to a close.
Yeah, 24 drivers going to be going around this street circuit. And one of the bumpier tracks on the iRacing service. I know a lot of people say the Coda track is bumpy and Sebring's bumpy, but they've never felt Detroit Belle Isle because this track has a jump in it.
I mean, I've tried this car in the fixed series this week. Is in the in the new Charlotte, and it's very bumpy for an oval, but I mean, not Daytona, old Daytona bumpy, but still, this is certainly up there with those. And let's see how qualifying is going, because we have some interesting names that we haven't had in the past. Chris On is one of them, from the Australian-New Zealand club.
Yeah, Chris
right
On,
here.
I actually know him. He's a karter in real life, and he's from Australia, and he's making his first appearance, but I saw him in a few practice sessions with one of my friends, and he was putting in some dang good laps. We have John Downing, as always, was unfortunately not getting the win again in Indianapolis. Fabrizio Raffa from Italy, one of your fellow countrymen.
Mm-hmm.
Declan Eddie from Canada, making the trip over to Belle Isle. Aaron Rufus, who has joined, who has got his name up onto the screen and enjoyed his picture as well for Knee Plus Ultra Motorsports. And if you also want to get your name and team up here, go to our website at sckgaming.co.uk, and we have a free tool software for you to input your information.
We're also one of the fastest drivers in the series in the past few years, making, I think, his debut as well for this season, and we are happy to have him on board. Liam Quinn, fantastic driver, sporting the number 2, second highest rating behind Mark Asher, who is still waiting for his lap. Very important race, this one, Austin, for one reason in particular. Apart from the traditional, North American SOF of the first race of the week, basically on what for us in Europe is the night between Monday and Tuesday, no other race has gone official this week. So this is the only chance, the final chance, the biggest chance, given the higher strength of field, to score some valuable points for the championship for this penultimate round of the season.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be all or nothing here today. The Monday race didn't go official, surprisingly. I guess people just weren't ready for that, or they were just waiting for some other thing.
No, it did, but it was the only one.
It did?
It did, but it was the only one. So basically, judging by the trend, this is going to be the all other only one to go official, and this has higher strength of field. So if you want to score your points, now or never.
This is lobby. Yeah, so we're going to definitely see a lot of people try their best right now. So we're on Mark Usher, number 1 car as usual. He puts in the second fastest time, only by 1/10 off. And he's going to pull off right there after his second lap. And yeah, it's a new name that we see on top. It's Chris Anoon.
Beautiful livery here for Grau Pla, which I imagine is a driver coming from the Catalonia region of Spain, judging by the name, or I might be wrong. And he has this fantastic livery here. I like
That's
colorful liveries.
beautiful. That's beautiful.
And also we have Richard Boberg from Sweden. He's also a new face in this Friday night strength of field. Coming on to the start-finish line, both of them. Here we go. First is going to be Richard, and he is not setting a valid lap time. Let's see if Grau is able to do so. No, he parks the
Now he's
car.
gonna park up.
He wants to set the back. I think
Yeah,
that
it's
is.
a rolling start.
Mhm.
It's gonna be a rolling start, so we're gonna have a formation lap and everything. And with 5 seconds remaining in qualifying, we should be good to go. Growl is yeah, there he goes off right now. So I believe we're finished with qualifying. So let's bring up the starting grid for Belle Isle. And also we have a few people who live in Detroit watching us here today. Hello, Asper in chat. Glad you're joining the race, and this is at your hometown track. And let's bring you through the grid. Starting up on pole, making his debut here in the SOF races, Chris on Aon with Mark Usher right beside him. In third, it's Will Lamb and Ty Kevith in second row. Behind him is Alessandro Dalladonde and Liam Quinn, followed up by two Americas, John Downing and newcomer to the series, Scott Sims, one of my good friends, making his debut here today. Sam Witten in ninth for Doug Henson Racing, followed up by Luka Lejevic. Alex Thank in 11th with Loose Juicy Nyman in P12, followed up by John Cafe, Declan Edie, Zachary Wenzel, Sam DeVenter, Aaron Rufus, Laura Gerhardt, Oscar Himes, Fabrizio Raffa, Graal Pla, Stefan Beamer, Rickard Bobberg, and John Buckley taking up the end of the field.
So the Porsche pace car is waiting to bring these guys around for what promises to be an entertaining race. It's going to be a one-stopper, Austin. So there is not much to play around with the strategies. And it's going to be, as per tradition in iRacing's newest race tracks, a short pace lap. Just a couple of corners. So you can see Chris On here on pole position, Mark Asher in second, Will Lamb sitting in third, Ty Keveth with his beautiful car there. Dalle Donne going once again for the retro livery. So Liam Quinn also, of course, fantastic driver. And here we go.
Pace car is leading him off, and the pitch straight is actually very early on the straight, so it's gonna be a bit of a good pace run. And if Chris can take a launch very early right now before they head into the start section and lead them into turns 1 and 2 as the Porsche Estates car is pulling off. It's all in Chris's hand right now. The Australian leads him off, and he puts the pedal to the metal because we're going green flag racing here in Belle Isle.
Downing with issues straight away, a little bit of
issues. We got a car upside down. That's Alex Thonk. John Kefe was involved in there. Grau Pla also involved as well. We got Liam Quinn making up some moves right now as everyone's coming down the bumpy straight. Chaos already. No yellow flags in IndyCar road, but that is a disastrous way to start it out. Scott Sims was also involved in there. He must be shaking his head. Horrible way to debut in the race. Sam Witten and Alex Thank have jumped into the pits. Back up front, Chris Owen against Mark Usher. Will Lamb right behind your top three.
Yeah, that first corner, there was a little bit of a slide there sorry to cut away there. Mark Asher with a mistake. Car seems to be okay, just a little bit of a slide. That curb is very treacherous there if they come out of the fountain section, you know, so...
Yeah, I was racing here in Ismo, and I've executed a few good drifts right there, and yeah, it's so scary when you go around that time as John Downey's going into the pits, and yeah, he does have some damage on that front wing. What a crazy first lap we had in the backfield.
let's see from Downing's perspective, because he was in
I
the
think he
center
just got loose.
of the drama, and his mistake there basically caused a chain reaction, and that was basically what set off the collision at the back. So he got
Well, he
loose.
got onto that
Oh,
curb
hit
right
the
there, and
wall.
he hit the inside wall, and he slows up ahead of Scott Sims and rest of company, and that's Powell just pull queuing Scott into the other car.
Chris on with damage. Oh, what a surprise! As they
What's
keep
happened?
on coming. Will Lamb is in the lead now.
The American leading the Detroit Grand Prix with Mark Usher right behind. What's happened to Chris Owen?
Oh, you already had the
He's
damage
already
there.
had damage.
Yeah,
Did he hit the inside wall of turn 1?
I think it wall there, but sadly I don't think we have a replay. Let's see again. He's losing positions.
There's John Downing. Here's Chris. I think he pulled what John Downing did. May have got loose right
No,
here.
I think he hit the wall in the later down the line, not here, but and not the next corner, but in the left-hander. Let's see. I think he hit here.
Oh yeah, he does.
Oh, big hit.
Bang into the wall. And he's in the pits. And
Oh!
Quinn is around. Will Lamb
Lamb.
is in the wall.
Man, this
Don't know why I
track is
said Quinn.
really putting these drivers through a lot early on, Austin, and now on lap 3.
Well,
Ready, Evo, dalle donne! Dalle donne is like a cat, he's got 9 lives. We saw that in Mosport, if you remember.
Oh yeah, definitely. I must say the track temperature right now is 103 degrees, which is insane for Michigan. So that also explains the low grip that these cars are having up onto the surface right now. As Liam Quinn gaining on Ty Keveth. Ty has a few fans in chat right now. Football 67,611 is here for Ty, as well as Dan Sharp. And look at Liam down up the inside of Ty, and he gets up there for P4.
Yeah, Liam Quinn has got fantastic pace. If he can just put it down, he could be a driver who can fight for the win as Wenzel goes past the Canadian Heady. Of course, we are. I mean, this is the closest race to Canada that is not in Canada, I think, because Canada is just on the other side of the river. I think
Yes,
Canada
it is.
is
You can
actually
see Canada.
at the south. Canada is at the south of this racetrack, not in the north, as Buckley
Let's just
went
right
in
beside it.
for repair.
We're on the Canada side of the Belle right now. Ooh, this is getting feisty right now. Zachary Winslow defending from Edie. Edie looking around the outside, going to try and go for a switchback. This is a very tricky corner. He's got to get it right. A little bit of a slide for Zachary, but Zach leading out. Decline. He can use push to pass right here. And we have a message from our pole sitter, Chris Owen. Should have maybe tested the race fuel and tires, LOL. What a disappointment. Shame to see that happen to Chris. Was really looking forward to seeing him out on track. Hopefully he's joining us next week for Auto Club Speedway for the final race of season 4 in 2019.
I love it, Austin, that just like in the, a few years ago in the IndyCar series final race. Oh, Fabrizio Rappa is in the wall.
Italian in the wall. He's got cars coming, but they're taking the inside line and just being calm around him.
Speaking of old school, that Team Penske livery, really old school.
Ooh. Speaking of Team Penske, Penske bought out Indycar right now, so kind of fitting. And, oh, that's just hard.
Asher, 1:15.3, fastest lap of the race, 15.4 for Lamb, 15.6 for Daledone. They are the only guys in the 15th so far, at least of this leading pack, as we keep having this beautiful fight between Wenzel and Hidi. They both set their personal best in this lap, 17.0, 17.1. Oh, good time.
I want to say something. Zachary Wenzel has 700 I rating, and he's holding off Decline Edie as Edie jumps up into the inside and makes a beautiful overtake. But Zachary Wenzel, the number 24 car, lowest I rating in the field. He's putting up some good laps right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You know, this is quite a unique series because it combines road and oval, but it is based on road I rating. You know, if you are a specialist of this car maybe and you do most of your racing on the ovals, sometimes your road I rating is not reflective of your abilities. As we have Oscar Jelm, Stefan Bremer and Richard Boberg, all three of them in a line. Bremer going for the all-white stock look on his car. 14.7 for Asher. That's the fastest lap of the race, the first guy to go below the 1:15 mark. As this is going to be a very quick race, Sam, because sorry, I do a lot of broadcasting with Sam Fitzpatrick, so this happens a lot of time. I know you are Austin. I also you're not the first I call he's not the first colleague I call Sam whilst, you know, not being his name. So please accept my humble apology, as Daledon here is closing in on Will Lamb for second place.
Yeah, Alessandro Daledonde, your good Italian friend right there, fellow countryman. We saw him do well in motorsport, and now he's in good spot for podium positions, and he might take up P2 because he is close. Now we got Zachary Wenzel turned around.
Talk about a commentator's curse.
I think it's on the exit of this curb.
Should be okay.
Yeah, it doesn't hit the wall, so cut the car clean. Just turn the other way.
See the suspension, the way they are working here, beautiful detail on the car. You can of course understand my excitement with iRacing announcing the new and improved Skip Barber, of course, coming in this next build, together with the new Lime Rock.
Also, I want to say something.
Daledone with a dive bomb!
What a move up the inside from Alessandro Daledonde to take P2 our Marco Usher. We're definitely going to have a replay there. Let's ride on board with the Flying Italian. So he's still running with your old team's Pankin. Up the inside. Will Lamb gave him enough space to make the move. Didn't want to risk his car or anything because this is a 40-lap race. This is on lap 9. And what a move by the Italian. I want to say hello to Alvo. He doesn't race any, but he doesn't like cars that don't shoot flames out the back. Well, actually, the Indycar does shoot flames out the back.
Yeah. Actually, this camera angle right here, this one, I designed to have some flame popping out of the car. You need to be lucky. But
it's meant for ovals, mainly.
Yeah. So a pass somewhere. Here we have a fight.
Wenzel and Rufus. That's a great livery on Rufus' car, I must say.
I think don't know if he was racing this in Indianapolis as well, or if he upgraded it. Certainly,
I think he upgraded it.
You know, after that finish, I think the car needed to be rebuilt from scratch. So I think. Oh, Wenzel!
Oh, Wenzel's around and Rufus goes into the side of him.
He clipped him.
Unfortunate.
Big damage to his car.
And that beautiful car is going to need to be rebuilt again. That's a lot of damage. Very unfortunate for the NE Plus Ultra Motorsport boys. They're going to have a lot of work in the... They're going to have a lot of work done in the garage. Same with Zachary Wenzel. Wenzel's car looks to be in good shape. Maybe bent suspension in that back toe.
Mark Asher about to lap Fabrizio Raffa, who is still going, you know, he's continuing. This is not a bad idea, continue with the damage, because he wants to make it one stop and one stop only, because if you stop now, the pit window is definitely not open, even though it is tough, you know, with a good car to run around here for 40 laps. I cannot imagine what it is like to run around here with basically half your front downforce.
Well, it's a very aggressive front downforce setup he's using right now.
As Bremer.
Yes, Fab Bremer. First I see him, Laura Gearhart catching up right behind him as Aaron Roos goes into the pits, followed up by Zachary Wenzel as well.
I was expecting a bit more out of Liam Quinn, but so far he has been, you know, let's see if he's close. He's not. Yeah, he's closing in on Will Land. He's closing in. The gap between the pair of them, though, is 7 seconds, and of course, his first concern should be Ty Kaveth. Right.
Mark Usher is going slow. Yeah, Mark Usher's last lap was 18 second, 118. So something's happened to him. I think it may be lap trap because I don't see any damage on his car. But he's losing time to everyone behind him. And you can see what timing screens I'm going off of right now based on our live timing app, which is available for everyone to look at right now, I believe.
Well, let's see. 3 seconds we lost the peloton. The live timing, yes, is available in the description to this video on YouTube and Facebook. Watching on Twitch, you cannot put description to the video on Twitch. Back to the 15.4, 110.
Be a mess. Yeah, he's starting to pull away right now, just a little bit. 3.4 seconds separate Mark Usher from Alessandro Dardone. And Alessandro, he does have a car in front of him, so he is going to get that draft on the straight. Just got to manage around him and get past him. Unfortunately, Mark Usher, he was let by in Alessandro's mind, so he's going to have to force his way by. Maybe get by on the straight. Oh, he almost got a bit of damage right there.
Yeah, that's the Italian connection. Don't worry about that.
Oh, this is not where he wants to be lapping a car right now. Pulls off onto the inside, but that made him lose a lot of time. He lost, I think, about 2/10 right there.
I think so, and of course he needs to be careful because Will Lamb is still in striking distance, so even though he's fighting with lapped cars as well. So stressful to drive around this track, Austin, not only for the bumps, etc., but it's a very short lap, and so these drivers will have to contend with slower cars, I think, all race long.
Yeah, I think we might have a in-race interview with Aaron Roof soon, as he's out of the car, and he was looking very good. He just put into the chat, wait, I'm thinking of talking to somebody else. Yeah, no, it is Aaron Roos.
Yeah, it's him. Yeah, the Savvy Ninja, sadly.
Savvy Ninja Aaron Roos, he's mad.
I mean, he came so close to the victory last week. He was even scored in the lead by our timing software for a good 30 seconds after the start-finish line. And
yeah,
what was one of the craziest finishes you will ever see in iRacing, I would say. The craziest finish I ever had to commentate, at least personally.
And the biggest clip we've ever had.
Yeah.
That clip got over 1,000 views in a week, so that's a record for us. Which, well, insanity just shows on how crazy that race was, and that's probably going to be a staple in every single Indy Open race now.
Update as we are approaching the halfway mark. 8 drivers on the lead lap, so the attrition rate, as predicted, has been absolutely astonishing. Mark Asher is now pulling away. The gap is now 4.3 seconds on Daledon. It was 3.3 seconds after that abysmal lap that Mark had, I think, avoiding some lapped cars. The gap between Daledon and Lamb in third is more or less the same. Maybe we can have a better idea here. Yes. This is the gap to the car in front. And you can see 15 cars are still running around on the racetrack. Last of them is Sam Winton for Doug Anson Racing, the number 14 car. Still going strong is also Fabrizio Raffa. Let's see if he still has the damage. Yes, of course. And now we are just basically waiting. Everyone, I think, Austin is... Oh! In the wall is Ricard Boberg. Gotta be careful, he's in a terrible position.
Yeah, I think he's got 3 cars coming along right now, and he's actually reversing. I would just keep your car there and make a 3-point turn. He's got another car on his way, but oh, he's going to make it right now. Executes a nice drift around, and he is going forward, and I believe that's John Downing passing him.
But I'm afraid this is going to be the end of his race, because that hit also damaged his suspension, and he's stealing his all sorts of sideways, unfortunately.
Yeah, that car is not pointed straight. He's going to have to go into the pits, currently in P14, but I do have to applaud him on being safe right there.
Yeah.
I do have to applaud him on there.
Something that we don't see every day, I have to say. And, weather, an update, 103 Fahrenheit on the track. It's the 1st of April of 2020, so this is basically Back to the Future Part 4, or something like that. We're in a time machine right now. 21% humidity, and not a lot of wind. That you were saying that the track temperature absolutely treacherous for these drivers to drive on this track. With these cars, with that kind of track temperature, absolutely.
And especially this track and that temperature, the bumps and the turns, because it's very slow turns here. So it's going to be a lot of mechanical grip. The downforce that you have in this car is not going to be very beneficial for you. And people are going to be running very little downforce packages because the straights here are just so good. But slow turns, medium speed turns, they're going to be like the killer one here because you're relying on that mechanical grip, but with this high track temperature, it's just not going to be there for you.
So I'm asking, where is the clip of the finish? It's on twitch.tv/ApexRacingTV in the clips section.
Yes, I posted the link to the clip in chat.
Oh, perfect.
Thinking one step ahead of you.
But did it
it didn't convert
your
to
link? Because
it posted.
It's not here. So
it's not.
Maybe it got rejected because only users with special privilege can post a link.
Did that just get banned from our own chat again?
I have no idea. Asher 114.9, dalle donne almost identical 15.0. His personal best, so the Italian driver who has... I tell you what, I know him very well, so I can tell you he's not going to be angry at me because he knows it is true. He has some issues with concentration. Sometimes he throws away races, because he lacks concentration. Sometimes he gets distracted, he makes stupid mistakes. So don't count him out on making something silly, because it is 100% him. So this fight for second place and backward third place with Will Ambrose, so it's not over at all. But he's also capable of some crazy stuff, as we have seen in the past couple of rounds. So we shall see as Fabrizio Raffa gets passed by the John Downing, who is in a comeback trail now. but sadly 1 lap down. Next in line will be Laura Gerhardt, sitting in P11. And since we have the power of STK Gaming, which you can of course get on stkgaming.co.uk, as Asher gets a 14.597, absolutely astonishing lap time. We can see, and you can do it as well if you use the software, live iRating information on your race. Who's going to be the biggest gainer? And so far the biggest gainer would be Dalledonne with 78 points gained. It managed to finish in 2nd place. So
yeah,
good,
good
result.
If you have the software, and you can also download another piece of software which gets this directly on your screen as you drive it. This is the most useful information screen that I always use. The names, the IR, and then the interval between me and the car ahead. It is so useful, and it makes driving so well. Also the mini map.
And you can see, of course, who you are racing around, their license level, and there it is. In the meantime, Downing very gently let go by Gerhardt. Downing up to P11. I want to say I'm not a paid spokesperson, but STK Gaming, but I'm a member of the tech support. So.
Is that a yes, though? Anyway.
Someone who's not me has just...
It was me.
Okay.
I freaked you out right there, didn't I?
Usually it's Lee Thompson who does that to me. And, you know, I have identity crisis while I'm broadcasting, you know. So, I think we are about to get into pit stop range, especially for drivers who picked... that's what I was missing, the track map. Drivers who decided to split the race in equal halves. See Mark Asher, if he decides to pit, to split his race in half, or if he continues to go. 13 cars left on the racetrack right now. Last of them is Fabrizio Raffa, who is setting personal best after personal best, despite driving with he's a driver I want to keep an eye on in the second part of the race. I think as soon as the pit window is open, he needs to jump in, change that front wing, and then push like crazy, because I think he has the pace. But sadly, that front wing damage is a lot. Let's go on board for a lap. Our
new fastest lap for Mark Usher as he did a big slide and he saves it. Drop down all the way to 70 miles per hour. Oh, no, they get into the wall.
I think he's testing his steering, I think, moving left and right.
He's good, he's good. I don't see any damage on either of these cars, but Dalledonne has just closed in on Mark Usher. He saw the blood in the water, but let's get a replay of... Oh, that was scary. Both of them in the same corner having the same incident, but wow. And sorry for blowing your soundbar, Alvo.
Let's see the replay first. This is Mark Asher. Fabrizio Raffa is pitting. That bump caught... oh no, this was...
Yeah, this is an earlier lap.
Okay, so we don't have the replay, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't really get the replays here. We usually find them off tracks, but since the off track is just a concrete wall, you're not going to get a lot of off tracks here. So, just mostly going to be contacts, as that is Fabrizio Raffa in the pits, getting his front wing repaired right now. What lap are we on?
Lap 21 out of 40.
All right.
Brimer is also in the pits. Hopefully. Yeah, there he is. Also with some front wing damage.
He's out of the car. He's out of the car.
Okay, he's out of the car, okay. Did he
Usher
back?
Still... The all-white car. Big slide. Tap the back wall. Kept going.
Very strange. So let's follow
very strange.
Mark Asher here. and see after if after this big scare he will go in for his stop, because the tires, if these two great drivers at the front are struggling, everyone else is. So time to hit the pit road? No.
No. Is Alessandro Daladone going to try? Ooh, he thought about it. You see him still testing that steering just by giving small wiggles. Will Lamb staying out as well. No drama this time on the exit. That's UC Nyman and just ahead of Mark Usher. And that's Ty Gaveth in the pits. One of our fan favorite drivers. So Ty might be going for a undercut. And here goes Mark Usher around the outside of UC.
I think Daladone got lucky there because he hit the wall flat, so he was able to minimize the angle of impact. After a couple of laps, sometimes...
Oh, big understeer for Alessandro.
I was talking to him during practice, he was complaining about it all day long.
And Mark's in the pits. And Alessandro should follow suit right now. Yes, he does. So leaders are in the pit lane.
Will Lamb is the new leader. He continues.
He's going to try to stay out. He does have clear track ahead of him. And these two, they were probably going to have traffic on pit exit. The pit exit here is so crazy because the exit is directly on the racing line.
Here we go. There goes one. There goes the other. And Liam Quinn is also coming in. So let's see the pit exit. Mark Asher, good to go.
No drama at all. Here's Alessandro. No drama at all with them. Fresh tires and everything. You see them kind of weaving on the straight. They're going to try to warm up these tires as fast as they can. To get temperatures out and ready. They aren't on the new tire model 7 just yet. But I can tell you, pit stops after that is going to be insane.
We haven't talked about Luka Lekcevic, who's having a quiet but very effective race, sitting in P6 right now, and is certainly on par for a good finish. Downing now is up to P9, but he will have to stop again, I would imagine. And now Will Lamb, the provisional race leader, big lockup just behind Jussi Nieminen, and he is in. So Mark Asher will become the new leader in a couple of corners time. As you can see in the back of the shot, Daladone getting past Gerhardt a little bit sideways. I tell you what, if I learned something by doing races around this place, since it came to races are never over at this track. So don't go away, because this could have a big surprise coming even in the last lap. It's absolutely a crazy place to race. Asher has the pace advantage as Will Lamb comes out and goes past Nieminen and Gerhardt.
Yeah, Gerhardt was behind him. Gerhardt was coming around the track right there as he was exiting the pit lane. And as I saw that car, I was like, oh no, it's going to happen. Downing's in the pits.
Second stop for Downing after the one he took on the very first lap to repair the damage.
He still has some suspension damage.
You sure?
Yeah, his wheel is pointed to the right. You see that?
Oh, you are absolutely right. Didn't notice that, so another top race for him. Of course, a bit sad we don't have Henry Bennett tonight. Henry looking good for the championship. He will use this, I would imagine, as his drop week. Drivers get 4 drop weeks if they compete in the other remaining 8. Basically, your best 8 results of all the season are taken into account for the final standings in the official series. And so, if you don't like the track or you don't own it, you can skip it. Redonne 2 tenths quicker than Asher.
It says personal best, actually. Usher getting onto the grass just a tad bit, as Alessandro Daladone using his Well, using his aggressiveness to his advantage and charging down on Mark Usher. He just clipped under the 3-second barrier right now, and he's still gaining on him.
Needs to be careful though, because we saw earlier he got lucky, already got lucky a couple of times. Once in the beginning of the race, one a few laps ago, where he clipped the wall coming out of turn 2 with Daledon. So needs to be careful, but now he's gaining even more here in the fountain section. Of course, it's easy to lose track of you know, small hits, small touches with the wheel that these drivers might have had when we were not following them, especially in a track like this where you were talking about it. You don't get really off tracks. You either hit the wall or you don't, no? So it's tough for these events to pop up on our event viewer. So who knows if they are running with damage or not. Another couple of tenths gained by Daledon.
Yeah, another new fastest lap for him as well. And that last lap was 0.2 faster by Alessandro, closing in on Mark Usher. So currently the fastest car on track, and he almost did it again!
Again, don't trust the Italian connection, because sometimes it shows things that are not true. Damage popped back in, at least on my screen, so he should be good. But he's leaving dangerously. If I was a betting man, which I'm not, I would bet on him not finishing this race. Or at least not in one piece.
He's your friend, why don't you bet on that? Because he is still closing in on Mark Usher. Actually, he closed in on 0.2 in the fountain section alone. So Mark had a very squirrely time in there as he comes through that lap, and he sets another personal best.
You know, I am his friend, but I'm also his former team boss, and I cannot. You cannot imagine the amount of destroyed cars I have to pick up and repair with my money.
Ooh, we got a car spun up the inside. Who's that?
Back on Hidi. With a mistake.
Canadian not feeling good after that. Looks like his car is in all one piece. Just back end going to kick him out once more. Yes, it is. And he saved it. Here's
Surprise for Mark Usher there.
It's our car parked up the inside. He waited.
Might have a pass here. John Downing trying to put a move on Oscar Jelm for 9th place.
Yeah, Downing still dealing with that special damage. Slight special damage. Oh, a little bit of a mess up going to the zone, and Downing around the inside, then onto the, around the outside, then the inside, and Downing makes the move for P9.
Look at that steering, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, he's got some suspension damage, and the fact that he's pulled that off with suspension damage is insane.
He does have a better perspective of the beginning of the race.
Yeah, he hit the inside wall.
He thinks it wall. I think he also hit with the tire then, not only with the front wing.
Stuck on the inside, got onto the curb, car got out, hit the wall, and which caused a massive chain of collisions with Scott Sims and everybody else.
Decent lap for Mark Usher now. Seems like he's increasing the gap to 3.5 seconds as we are hitting almost 10 to go.
Yeah, tires warmed up and he's got into his groove. Purple in Sector 2.
12 seconds and 36 in Sector 2. You are absolutely right. Seems like he's back on a good pace. He's our race leader. Already winner, for example, if I'm not mistaken, of the Sonoma round with a fantastic comeback.
Yeah,
and also in Mosport, if memory serves me right.
Yes, you're right. Mosport was very, very odd. We had that 3-car fight for lead, and second and third accidentally taking each other out. And Mark just kind of cruised to victory right there.
Two fantastic comebacks in that race. One of them was, of course, Henry Bennett, who was involved in that crash. The other driver
As well
was
as Adam Blocker.
Yeah, Adam Blocker was out of the race, but in the end, Bennett only quote-unquote, got a front wing damage, which forced him to do 2 stops, but that didn't prevent him to finish in a fantastic second place after all seemed lost. Sideways the race leader. Careful there. Careful,
He's going to
careful,
lose time
careful.
there to Alessandro.
Who is, gained a bit there. Now, of course, also the lapping of Jussi Nieminen there. IndyCar community legend on iRacing, and he's through.
We enter 10 laps to go here at Belle Isle. Mark Usher leads Alessandro Daldone by 3.8 seconds. Can he hold on to this lead? Ty Kaveth sitting in 5th right now on the back end of Liam Quinn.
Very close battle. This is the closest battle on the field right now, with gap now into 0.8 of a second. Meantime, so we're entering the final 10 laps of the race. 12 cars running around. Let's see how Fabrizio Raffa is doing after his pit stop. Actually, he's lapping a bit slower than earlier. Maybe some.
I think he's just trying to be a bit safer now.
Downing, personal best 16.0, is pushing hard, but next car, sadly for him, is Jussi Nieminen, and basically they are at opposite ends of the racetrack. So for John, unless something crazy happens, he will have to settle for P9 in what has been certainly a tough race for him, dealing with suspension damage from lap 1. And once again we go back to the thought of how tough it is to drive around here normally, but can you imagine with the car that's pulling to the left, basically all race long, because he has to steer a bit to the right to keep it straight, almost like we are on an oval, basically, no?
Yeah, I thought his steering was a bit offset at first, but no, that's from lap 1 damage. We look back from Liam Quinn on the charging Ty Kaveth. Last lap, Quinn outlapped Kaveth, but only by 1/10 of a second. And Ty, one of the more popular drivers in this series. I know he has a cheering fan club that likes to be in chat. But he's currently sitting in top 5 right now.
Let's see how close to the oh, mistake there.
Oh, little bit
Quinn.
of mistake.
Let's appreciate the bumps on this racetrack from this camera.
A little bit of a slide for Ty on that corner entrance. On exit, he's going to be in the draft. Half a second separates them. I don't think he's going to try to go for a move right here. He could have used push to pass to get it even closer right there, but I don't think he was using it.
Very close here.
Whoa, a big flinch. Oh, the big slide! But Ty saved it, but he's going to lose a lot of time now.
Yeah, previous lap it was Quinn who made a mistake there. Now it comes back to bite Tyke Veth there.
Yeah,
And
but Quinn's mistake was just a corner entry. Ty's mistake right there was a four-wheel slide. So let's get a replay of that.
I clipped the curb. Good save.
Curb,
Good save.
then a counter steer right there. Car stalled out just a tad bit, but he got it going once more. Mark Usher comfortably in the lead by 6 seconds. Alessandro Daldonde is dropped back a lot. I think he may have damage. Yeah, Alessandro has dropped down to 6 seconds. Don't see any damage on the car.
They had to lap big number of drivers, so maybe he lost a bit of contact there, and then he said, you know, okay, second place is good enough. Car seems to be okay. So is the car of our race leader, as you can see. 6 cars on the lead lap, about to become 5, because Luka Lekcevic is the next car in line in front of our race leader Mark Asher. If there's something we have seen on road courses here in this series, as we are of course approaching the final, or as this is the final road course of the season, we have seen big attrition rate. What can we expect next week as we go to the big 2-mile oval in Fontana, California?
Beautiful, beautiful pack racing in IndyCars. It's very scary to race there, but I have a lot of friends who race IndyCar oval right there, and it's going to be Vegas levels of insanity, but scaled up even more, because Fontana, massive track, very wide. You can go 3 wide there for a lot of the time and not lose enough time on everybody. The draft is going to be so important, and it's going to be, well, pretty much an IndyCar pack race. So definitely something you do not want to miss.
It is going to be, of course, next week, Friday as per usual, and it will be at 8 GMT on Apex Racing TV, as race leader about to get past a couple of cars here. It is Luka Lekcevic. That was, I think, Fabrizio Raffa behind him, yes. So here we go, 5 cars on the lead lap very soon. Daledon dropping to 7.2 seconds. I think he's happy, but he needs to be careful because Will Lamb is actually closing in him.
A little bit scary happening in that braking zone, but nothing to write home about. Mark sitting comfortably ahead, almost 7 seconds ahead of Alessandro Daldonde. And he's gaining a lot of time per lap. 4 tenths, 5 tenths, 8 tenths last lap, so Alessandro Daldonde's charge coming out of the pits is pretty much over. And I think he's just sitting comfortably. Just looking at Will Lamb right now, and he's 2 seconds behind Alessandro.
2.8.
Ooh.
So this lap here, this time he gained. Okay, so the enigmatic Italian now all of a sudden finding the pace.
Big lockup. That puff of smoke was from his Italian connection.
I think you are absolutely right.
I think it might get a little bit spicy right now. He's behind a lapped car, and in this section, the lapped cars have nowhere to go, and he's probably doing some Italian things right now. And we said it was texting last time when he dropped off a pace.
Yeah, he was listening to Taylor Swift as well. So. Let's see this magic trick he pulled.
Ta-da! Mind freak.
Now it's Will Lamb turn to get past Fabrizio Raffa.
Now Rafa is right there, and he's getting that good draft. Giving Lamb that good draft, and he's going to be directly into turn 1. This is going to be very tricky for Lamb to do. But the Carolina man making it look easy.
Asher with the purple first sector. So he's not happy.
He's not
We
giving
just
up.
no, he wants to bring home also another fast lap as he comes home with his final few kilometers, or should I say miles, that are separating us from the end of this penultimate round of the season. As we see a beautiful shot for just 1 second of the fountain there, and I don't know if you noticed, but very recently they put a steamboat that goes,
Yeah, I saw the steamboat in our intro. It
no.
slowly went by as I was saying the grid. I wanted to say something. It was, ooh, in the wall, in that yellow and blue McLaren livery style is Legific.
Oh, that's a McLaren. Didn't notice it.
Yeah, it's borrowing from the McLaren livery, but instead of orange, it's
This
yellow.
slow down dalle donne, eh?
Ooh.
Whilst I think
It
Lamb
didn't really
went.
impede Lamb, but Lejevic in the middle of the track.
1.6 seconds.
Oh, the gap is falling. Here comes Lamb.
Mamma mia, look at the bumps there. Camera shaking as we approach the quote-unquote backstretch. Oscar Jalm is in the pits. Maybe he underfueled his car. 3 laps to go, 2.5 I should say. Leader is about to get the 2 to go sign from the starter. As you can see, Will Lamb can see in front of him this magenta and black car. And see a good chance at second place. He started third.
It looked like he almost got into the wall. Looked like Alessandro almost hit the wall right there. It was a very weird exit that he had. But Will Lamb is definitely charging down
1.2.
on the Italian.
2 to go.
Almost under a second. The battle box has popped up and Lamb is charging in on Alessandro, and on the exit there's a car.
Oh!
And, oh my goodness, and he's lost. Did he lose his week? No, he didn't.
It certainly looked like so, for a split second at least, that he lost his front wing there. Racing playing some tricks on us. Dalle donne is, especially in the second part of the lap, Austin is really struggling for grip and pace.
Yeah, he was struggling there all the time. We first saw Mark Usher struggling there, coming out of the pit lane. But no, now Alessandro Dall'Andrade, after he used all that fresh tire grip up, he has no grip anymore with 2 laps to go.
Comes our race leader now to get the white flag. Sale la Blanca here in Detroit for the penultimate time this season.
Last road course of 2019 as he's such
14.1.
He's not giving up at all. Let's stay with this battle for second right now. Lamb within 7/10 of the Italian. Can he defend his home soil right now? Well, not technically his home soil since he's from Carolina, but you get what he means. Big log from Dall'Andrade.
This is going to go down to the wire, Austin.
And that's how we like it here in the IndyCar Open Series.
Absolutely. Now, disappointingly, I've just noticed that the Pigna count for tonight is at a disappointing 0.
Yes, it is, but I think that's a good thing.
Fountain said this is where Dall'Andrade struggles, so let's see if he can bring it home in one piece and defend his second
Watch
place.
that time fall. That time's falling down.
He lost second place in Mosport in the final few laps. In the meantime, Mark Usher.
Very dangerous exit by Lamb as Mark Usher takes the final road course victory of the season. Let's go back to Dall'Andrade and Lamb. 3/10 separate them, but it's going to be a drag race here in Detroit, and it's going to be Alessandro Dall'Andrade for P2 with Will Lamb in P3. Liam Quinn sitting in P4 right now, up 2 spots from where he qualified. I'd say be pleased with that. With Ty Kevith just behind him.
Here he comes then, final corner for Liam, and he gets into P4. Fifth will be Taikevet, like you were saying. Lekchevich already crossed the finish line. We are waiting for Yusin Eminem, who will finish in P8. And then that will be that for tonight, and so it is. So congratulations to the drivers. John Downing will finish 9th. Good comeback, but sadly that lap he lost was never to be recovered, and in the end he wasn't able to become to make it something a bit better. Big disappointment for Chris On, but we'll talk about that right now as we are about to give you the final results from Belle Isle.
Well, there's a steamboat. Look up these results right now. Taking the win, it's Mark Usher, followed up by Alessandro Daladonde, Will Lamb, Liam Quinn, Ty Kiveth, Luka Lejevic, Declan Edie, UC Nyman, John Downing, Oscar Himes, Laura Gerhardt, Fabrizio Rafaz, Stephen Bremer, Rickard Bobber, Sam Witten, Zachary Wenzel, Aaron Rufus, John Buckley in P18. Following him in 19th place is Scott Sims, Chris Owen, Alex Dyke, John Cafe, Sam Devantier, and Grau Pla in 21st place. And we actually have an interview right now with Aaron Rufus. Let's bring him in. Howdy, Aaron. How are you doing?
Doing good. Well, okay, considering. It was that track is a tough one.
Yeah, it's a very tricky one. I know a lot of people that are just saying I'm taking this track off. It's just gonna be my bye week, and I'll just show up at Auto Club for the final race.
Yeah, well since I started the season late, I'm like, oh, to get my 8 weeks, I have to just race it out. And I know I spent a lot of time this week learning the tracks. I just bought it this week, and then I'm like, I'll just kind of take it easy and try and avoid wrecks, and I just got caught up in one.
Yeah, it's pretty hard one for you to avoid right there. Any thoughts about the track since it's your first time experiencing it?
It's kind of, I thought it'd be a lot harder to learn it, because of the I think the concrete walls really kind of mess with your head, so you have to learn where to push it and where not to, and it's really easy to kind of just spin it out. But I actually like the track, and I'm looking forward to going back to it and getting better at it. So maybe I'll be up in the front next time we come around here.
All right, confidence from your side. I like that. Auto Club is the final next week. You planning on showing up there, and what do you look for?
Yeah, ovals. I love ovals. It's gonna be fun. I know it's gonna be crazy. I know it's gonna be high participation, like last week was in Vegas. So I think you'll see the best of the best in the indie community racing. Those who can make it, at this time slot.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a best of the best right here at Belle Isle, and well, you had a good qualifying session. You were racing with the number 24 car of Zachary Wenzel, and you did let him by. Anything you want to say about that?
I did because I felt he was a little iffy, and so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna let him by because he, if he spins again, maybe he'll happen in a spot where I can just get past him, and But then he spun, and I hit the brakes, and there was nowhere I could go, and I couldn't. And I don't know whether that damage killed my race or when I ran into the tire wall the second time trying to get back to pit road. But sometimes, yeah, I think there's races we let people go by if we're not comfortable around them, and then try and later pass them or see how things roll.
All right. Yeah, it seems like a big hit. Marco, I believe you have some questions for him.
No, just first of all, thank you for using the STK app to get your data and your picture into the system. I
Oh
I
yeah.
greatly appreciate when drivers do that. So thank you very much, and commiserations on your bad luck. But hopefully you will redeem yourself in Auto Club, and that's going to be a great way to end the season, I think.
Yeah, it'd be a fun way. Appreciate you guys doing this broadcast race, and I think it's increasing interest into our IndyCar series, so that's always a good thing.
Aaron, it was beautiful to have you here in the booth and on the track. Before we let you go, anyone you'd like to thank?
Nope, not this time. So we will see you guys next week.
Awesome. Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
All
And
right, that
that
was
was
Aaron Rufus
yeah,
joining us in the commentary box, and I
the
believe
Sebi
we,
Ninja.
yeah,
Beautiful
also known
nickname.
as great nickname. And I believe we're going to be done for today. So thank you, Marco, as always, for being the broadcaster and controller of the camera and all the flashy graphics that pop up on our screen. Thank you, everybody who's joined us on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, and our new followers and subscribers who followed us on Twitch. I believe that was Asfer who did. So thank you for there. And yeah, just thank you, everybody in the IndyCar community, for coming out. And I can't wait to go to Fontana next week. And it's gonna be a great race. I am Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night.